Battlecry of Freedom by Ngakma Nor'dzin.
Part 2. The Slogans. Slogan 29. Abandon poisonous food.
Dug chan gi zhe pang.
When riding the mind is harmonious, joyful and effective, don't spoil it. Tack is used to enable the rider to control the horse. The more difficult the horse is to control, the more stringent tack tends to become. Even the gentlest bit in a horse's mouth can be painful if the rider has insensitive or unkind hands on the reins. There is a considerable variety of tack available to help keep a horse under control, but tack should not be used as a substitute for understanding the horse and developing an intimate working relationship. Tack can actually increase alienation between horse and rider and poison the relationship. Dee would fight the bit when I first owned her, even though it was a gentle bit. She could not keep her head quiet. She would raise her head and open her mouth. I put her in a drop noseband, and this solved the mouth opening, but she was still not happy. I tried a martingale to keep her head lower. After her spinal injury was diagnosed, I was told by the vet to rest her from riding for 3 months, but to continue to exercise her. This meant that I did a great deal of groundwork with her in the menage. I also researched natural horsemanship methods and used a lot of those sorts of exercises. When it was time to ride Dee again, the unhappy head was back. I decided to take a radical direction that I had read about in natural horsemanship. Rather than adding corrective tack, reduce the amount of tack to a minimum. I bought a cross-under bitless bridle that uses gentle pressure to the nose, jaw, cheek and poll to maintain contact with the horse. With no metal in her mouth, there was nothing to fight against. Dee was like a different horse. Her head dropped and was quiet. She responded to the reins and carried herself better. She was much happier. I rode her in this lightweight and simple bridle for the rest of our riding days together. I believed that Dee was a good horse, but had been spoiled, poisoned, by the life circumstances imposed upon her. By unravelling as many of the poisonous aspects of her life circumstances as possible, I tried to allow Dee to be the good horse that she wanted to be.
Dilgo Khyentse Rinpoche says, "There is a saying, wholesome deeds performed with selfish aims are just like poisoned food."
Food is nutritious. It is what sustains life. It is inadvisable to eat spoiled food. It creates illness. It would be foolish to poison good food. That would be self-harming. Mind training is spiritual nutrition. It can be poisoned by too much application, too little application, or wrong motivation. If the mind is dull and lacking in focus, pay attention. Apply methods to lift and brighten the mind, to bring clarity and presence to the meditation session. If the mind is distracted and lacking in focus, pay attention. Apply methods to settle the mind and let go of distraction, so that the mind can be calm and clear. If the mind is relaxed and focused, let it be. Do not squeeze and create tension, but remain alert and present. It is important to establish a daily practice habit, but this must not just become something that is fulfilled and ticked off on a list of things to do. each and every meditation session is an opportunity to awaken and must be embraced with energetic application. Failing to apply effort poisons the potential of practice and turns an opportunity to awaken into a routine.
Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche says, "If I sit properly with the greatest discipline and exertion, then I will become the best meditator of all. That is a poisonous attitude."
Examine the motivation for committing to mind training. Is it for praise? Is it for fame? Is it for gain? Is it for profit? Does the practitioner think it is impressive to be a person with a daily meditation practice? Does the practitioner use the capacity gained through practice to manipulate others or to feel superior to others?
Pema Chodron says, "You can use these slogans to build up your ego. For instance, you refrain from talking about others' defects or maligning them, but only so people will praise you."
Awakening is the natural state of being. The methods of mind training cooperate with beginningless awakening to strip off the delusion and patterning that prevent it sparkling through. All beings are beginninglessly awakened, but through the inability to see this, are actively distorting it into delusion. Beings are not the victims of cyclic existence, but the perpetrators. To stop distorting is to start awakening.